Askreddit by eJardart. Suicide prevention Megathread. Telling users to kill themselves is a violation of Rule 8 and will get you banned. Don't do it. What sucks a lot for non-celebrities and poorer people is the cost of therapy. I don't currently have insurance, and while I know I should go see a therapist about stuff, I can't afford it. I'm sure other people are in that boat. For me it isn't so bad these days because I ended up meeting an awesome guy and getting engaged, but I've had a lot of extremely low points in my life where I could have used professional help. Ding ding ding. We have a winner. This is the problem. By the way, I wish there was a suicide chat line and not a hotline. I don't like speaking out loud to a person about any issues I might be having. There is. https://suicidepreventionleafline.org/chat/ A person from my past reaching out to me, even for 5 minutes, does exceptionally more for my mental well-being than seeing 10,000 redditors spam the numbers for different suicide prevention hotlines. Please reach out to the people in your life. You can keep it as light as you want. We're social creatures, and even limited interaction goes a very long way. The moments that old friends have reached out to me make my month, since it almost never happens. After a bad breakup I had reached out to a few friends to just catch up and continued to talk about whatever, but eventually realized I was the only one ever initiating conversations. While they have no obligation to talk to me, I couldn't help but to feel like a burden on everyone. That they were just humoring me for the sake of being polite. I stopped initiating, and all of them I haven't chatted with in over a year now. Lack of human contact that isn't in a forced context, work, school, etc., goes a long way toward making someone already depressed feel even more isolated, and really pushes the internal narrative that everyone else would be much better off if I just wasn't around. Deleted. I did this. I swallowed a bottle of ibuprofen, said oh fuck and went to the ER. The activated charcoal was not fun, but I'm alive and happy 10 years later. Also, side note, my idol Scott Hutcherson jumped off a bridge a few weeks ago. I can't emphasize enough how much this has hurt everyone who was given hope by the messages in his music. We're all his family and we're all grieving together now. Whoever is reading this, please reconsider and get help. I did. You can too. I wish this was up last week. A very close friend of mine committed suicide in the second. She was only 19 and could light up a room when she came in. The worst thing is feeling like I could have stopped her. After work the day before, she asked me if I wanted to go out. I didn't because I was tired and had to clean. My heart hurts. Her memorial was yesterday. It's still such a raw wound. I'm sorry I had to get this off my chest. Edit. Thank you all who've messaged me or replied with support and their own experiences. I know logically it wasn't my fault, but emotionally it hurts. I'm slowly starting to accept what happened, but it will be a while before I'll be back to normal. Also, to the chap that messaged me and told me it was my fault, go fuck yourself. I hope you know it is not your fault. What an awful thing you have to go through right now. Please take special care of yourself at this time. Almost exactly a year ago, one of my best mates called drunk in the middle of the night telling me that he was going to end it, and he wanted to apologize for doing this and thank me for being the only one to support him. I got so fucking scared and started calling people that had been on the same party that he attended earlier and managed to find him nearby walking alone towards the rail tracks. I ran towards him and stopped him. We talked for almost 5 hours straight that night. We agreed for him to try therapy. It worked. At least for him. And now he is on his way back up pursuing a career in graphic design. I urge everyone who feel depressed at least try to talk to someone, your family, friends, or a therapist hotline, as it might help more than you think. Deleted. I think the biggest problem for me is imposter syndrome. I have a relatively good life and it doesn't feel like I've earned the right to be depressed. As a result, I don't acknowledge it or deal with it professionally. That's because depression is a health issue, not a life financial struggles issue. If it were seen correctly as a health issue, we could break the stigma against it. Look at Anthony Bourdain and Kate Spade, they seem to have great lives on the outside. Fame and fortune. But health issues can hit anyone, and depression should be taken seriously, no matter what has been going on in your life. Every mental health professional knows this, too. They understand that sometimes, it's harder to get help if everything looks okay from the outside. If you can, schedule an appointment to talk to someone. I'm not a mental health professional, but you can always PM me if you want to chat. I called my doctor today. Time to get this shit sorted out. Should add that this isn't as huge and sudden as it sounds. Been living with this for more than 10 years, and I've been back on medication for a few months now after a full year off them. But things like Bourdain's suicide and Scott Hutchison's in particular, which really punched me in the gut, are a reminder that I need to take this more seriously instead of just munching the pills and hoping it'll go away again. Thank you for the supportive messages though. You'd be surprised how much of a difference they sometimes make. Good for you. Stay strong. When I was a teenager, I had bad problems with depression and anxiety that led to very self-destructive behavior. There were many times I imagined killing myself, and one night I was set on doing it. Came home drunk and sad and started cutting myself, which was one of my methods for dealing with my emotions. I sat in my bed crying, trying to find the courage to cut deeper and end it. Then my dog Snoopy hopped up on the bed and put his head on my lap. Thanks to him, I realized that I just couldn't do that to him or to my parents and friends. He saved my life that night. The next day I decided to open up to my parents and ask them to help me find some help, which was a huge step forward. Sometimes all it takes is a reminder that someone loves you to help you start trying to love yourself. Deleted. This will get buried, but until just recently my major depressive disorder was in remission. Something happened about 2 months ago that turned my life upside down, and as a result, I've recently been struggling with suicidal thoughts. They've been escalating, inch by inch. I read through maybe 30 responses on this thread and am nearly in tears at my desk. I needed to be reminded that I am not alone and that the metaphorical demon that is depression haunts so many people on this earth. I cannot give up or give in. I needed this today to motivate me to stay the course. I beat this once, I can do it again. One of my favorite quotes is by Winston Churchill. When you're going through hell, keep going. Thank you to everyone contributing to this thread. Something about that Churchill quote sent chills down my spine. I really needed to hear that. Thank you, and I wish you all the best. My mum took her life when I was 12, a year after my parents had separated. Afterwards I lived with my dad and my little sister, and took a big role in raising her while battling my own depression and self-harm. 10 years later, just when I was starting to get in good place emotionally, my sister jumped off a bridge. She was 18 years old. It's been a few years since she took her life, and what I've learned is that no matter how much better you think your family would be without you, that's just not true. I miss my mum, and I miss having a mum. My sister was my best friend, and even after all the tough things she put me through over the years, drug addiction, stealing, etc., it was so worth it to have her around. I think about her every day and would do anything to have her back. Jesus. I'm so sorry. I found my mom after she shot herself when I was a teenager. I understand the toll that it takes on you and the always lingering pain. It's been many years now and I can honestly say that I'm happy. Please just take life as it comes and let yourself find out who you'll end up as. Life is too short to make it any shorter ourselves. If you ever need an ear, please send me a PM. I wish you the best, my friend. Damn, this thread is heavy. So much pain from so many different people. for what it's worth. This internet stranger is rooting for you. Deleted. No one knows the burden others carry. Don't trivialize others' pain. It may seem small to you, but it is crushing to them. We all have crosses to bear and they are all made of wood. I was 12 years old when I found my uncle, who had hanged himself with a belt in my grandma's basement. From that day on, I experienced depression and PTSD, and I still do. There's not a day that goes by where I don't think about it. I'm 21 now. Nobody from my family reaches out to me, none of my friends do. I've been alone for the last few years, and what I would do for anyone to tell me they care about me and love me. But hey, I'm still here. I'm still going. I'm trying. I'm stronger. I'm now 2 for 2 in suicide attempts, being stopped by my cat. Just her staring and meowing. Always have something or someone nearby that might just save you. My cat saved me from an attempted overdose when I was 16. Same thing, staring and meowing. She just wouldn't leave me alone. I've been dealing with depression for years now, but I did try to commit suicide in high school. I hit rock bottom when a family member falsely accused me of raping them. The police, my family, everyone in my life seemed to take their side. The judge ruled that I couldn't stay at my house during the investigation because my little sisters were there and they seemed me a danger to them. I ended up being put up in a shitty hotel for a month while my attorney fought to have any kind of medical exam done to try to prove my innocence. Being shunned by everyone I've cared for got to be too much, and I decided I'd had enough. I managed to get a hold of a bunch of pain pills and a fifth of Jack and took them all and went to bed. I woke up the next morning in a pool of vomit. In the end though, I'm glad I survived my attempt. Things got better. My accuser couldn't keep their story straight, and I've had 2 attempts in the last 2 years. My life right now is actually going pretty well. It just sucks that all these people keep killing themselves. It makes me worried about my future. Am I going to hold on until I'm 35 then put a bullet through my head? Am I going to drown myself at 42? I've been struggling with wanting to die for 15 years. I'm medicated. I completed a program recently. I don't know man, maybe it's not worth it. I have a good partner right now and a good support system though. I was honest with my girlfriend this morning about how this has all made me feel. We're getting pizza and driving into the mountains or maybe the forest tonight to reconnect with nature. I tend to find peace after that. Today's rough. Edit. The thing that got me recently was talking to my roommate best friend about my mental health the last couple years. She's usually stoic. We work for the same company and she's known as the Scrooge, with a secret soft heart. She looked at me and said,